My name is Lady Catherine DeBury, and I believe that I am far superior than anyone else. It is certain that I am rich, pretty, smart, and have incredible connections in life. There is not really anything that I lack except maybe a heart, but who needs one of those when you have money and power? There is no doubt that I live a magnificent life. I have a dashing nephew named Darcy, a gorgeous house, and a handsome daughter who is the definition of perfection. Let me tell you, though, of this time when this young girl named Elizabeth Bennet challenged my authority. She comes from a family that lacks status and poise, and she even confessed to never had a governess. Poor thing, she was probably neglected. I had never seen such an ill-mannered family in my life. Back to my story. Not a single person has ever attempted to defy my commands except this young girl. I found it rather perplexing, but rumor had it that she was engaged to my nephew. I dashed over to her house in my carriage to straighten the confusion out. See, here's the thing. My daughter, the most handsomest of her sex, had been arranged to marry Darcy since birth. His mother and I made a promise to each other to have our children married to one another to ensure that each child would receive a spouse of equal status and importance. But here came Elizabeth skipping into Darcy's life, trampling over my dear Anne. When Elizabeth and I talked that day, I strictly asked if she was engaged to be married to Darcy, which I told her was not possible, and she responded to it in a quite rude manner. She was pretending to be ignorant to the situation and refused to give me a straightforward answer. We went back and forth for a while until I gave up and told her that she was making a huge mistake, and if the rumors were true, she was destroying the life of a perfectly fine gentleman. She had no respect for me, and honestly, I think she might claim to have feelings for Darcy just for his money. Wickham attempted to marry Georgiana for her inheritance, so why should I not believe that Elizabeth is after Darcy's money? I firmly believe that she is no good for my Darcy. Though much to my dismay, Darcy ended up marrying Elizabeth, but I still believe that she will ruin him. I know what is right for him, and it is not her. I will be the better person, though, and I will be there for Darcy when he comes running back when he finds out that Elizabeth never truly loved him. I believe that my experiences with the rebelling inferior class has emphasized my belief in my superiority.
It was a hot summer's day, and I was sitting inside my air-conditioned house away from the Texas heat. I decided to sit down and read a couple of poems by my favorite poet, William Wordsworth. I read a few, a lot of them being about nature, and then I came upon one that really struck me. It was titled, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. The speaker of the poem described an event in their life where they were observing the beauty of nature. They appeared to be serene and calm, finding joy in the little things in nature. They spoke of flying like a cloud and daffodils dancing in the wind. Although flying is not possible and daffodils do not dance, it is with this, the power of nature, that the speaker was able to feel such powerful emotions. The speaker continues to talk about the beauty of the daffodils and concludes the poem with a shift to their couch, where they describe how when they are alone in a contemplative state, they think of their time with the daffodils. Thinking about the daffodils in their mind allows them to find serenity and bliss in nature. It is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, as Wordsworth would call it. It is the memory of and power of nature that allows the speaker to find joy in the dullest of moments of life. It is this, the poem, that made me realize that nature is a very powerful force that can make people's lives fuller and richer. As I finished reading this poem, I had a sudden urge to go out and be with nature. I have always loved nature, especially because of Wordsworth, but now I feel as if I have a stronger connection with nature. I walked out of my house and looked up to observe my surroundings, and I was immediately blown away. Although the nature was gorgeous, I was more surprised by the people. Almost everyone was looking down at their phones or rushing with shopping bags in their hands to the next store to spend their money at. The world we live in is too fixated on materialistic things in life. Everyone is too preoccupied with getting and spending. Everyone is too caught up in their consumer worlds that they lack the ability to connect with nature. I believe that technology has inhibited our powers, and nature has no effect on the modern day persons. As we evolve as a society, technology will become more and more prevalent, and we will further impede our ability to connect with nature. Nature provides us comfort, joy, and peace to the mind. This is why I believe it is important to connect with nature.
As a respected butler for the great Algernon, it is important for me to believe in loyalty. As a man in the working class, having loyalty towards my boss allows me to gain knowledge and experience from the wealthy class. My loyalty towards Algernon has established my role in his sidekick, in which I am willing to defend him at any time. An example of this would be when I lied to Lady Proctor about the cucumbers, when in reality my boss ate the cucumber sandwiches that were meant for her. You must be thinking that my level of loyalty exceeds my morality, and I don't deny that. I set myself as an example of extreme loyalty because I want other working class men to obtain the same level of loyalty as I do. One day, when I went to the market to get some cucumbers, I met another butler who was working for some wealthy man. When I approached him, he seemed to be under the clouds. As a sympathetic human, I questioned what was upsetting him. He confessed that his boss had been treating him poorly and he cannot quit his job because he needs to provide for his family. I advised him that no matter how unfair his boss is, he shall remain loyal to him. After telling him about my relationship with Algernon, he assured me that he would stay loyal. Loyalty is the most important quality in the working class. It furthers relationships between a boss and a worker, as it did with me and Algernon. My bond with Algernon strengthens as I stay loyal and true to him. Most butlers don't have a strong connection with their boss like Algernon and I possess. Our connection with each other has strengthened through bun bearing. I have been involved in bun bearing scheme in the many years of serving Algernon. Bun bearing has taught me that lies can easily be manipulated into truth, and I believe that there is nothing wrong with lying when it sounds like the truth. There is a lot to learn from the upper class, and loyalty allows me to do that. Not only does loyalty allows me to obtain a strong connection with my boss, but as a working class man, I need a sufficient job to provide for my family. After my divorce, I was in hardship and needed money. I asked Algernon for help, and he was ready to lend me money as much as I needed. I believe that my loyalty has shown Algernon that I am a trustworthy guy, and this is why he's willing to help me. I want to spread the importance of being loyal to others in the working class in hope that they will gain the same experience as I have while working with Algernon. I was born a male, and I believe that it is my right to act and behave like one. I believe that it is my right to be in control. I have a wife. Well, had a wife. She's dead now. But when I had a wife, I was controller. Having her fear me felt really good. I do not know exactly what it is about having someone fear you, but it feels amazing, and I highly recommend it. It is a shame that she is dead because I do not feel like remarrying, and I miss her, controlling her. Only a coward would remarry, and I am not that. I like to spend all my money on alcohol, so it gives me an excuse to not give any of it to Evelyn. I mean, why does she need my money when she has her own job and Harry can give her some of his? I'm a man, and I am not giving any of my money to a woman. It is my money, and I can choose to spend it however I want. I am my own boss. Evelyn has her own job, so she can provide for the family now. I think that it's her turn to take care of the family, especially because her mom is dead. She should consider this as a reimbursement for everything that her mother and I provided for her while she was little. That is why women were born right to take care of the family. Sometimes, though, I feel bad and give her a couple bucks. As a man and a father, it is my right to decide who my daughter marries. I must approve of the man before she can agree to spend her rest of her life with that individual. After my wife's death, Evelyn has become more independent and has started hanging out with this boy whom I don't approve. I think that's just disrespectful. 1, she doesn't get to be independent, and 2, I'm the man in the family and I get to control who she marries. I do not care if she thinks she's in love, but trust me, I know she's not. I promise I wasn't this bad when my wife was around. She kind of made me happy. A while back, I used to make my kids laugh, tell them ghost stories, and occasionally make them toast. Ever since my wife's death, I have just left my kids to themselves. I'm not afraid of Evelyn leaving me because she won't. She knows that she is the only one who could take care of the young ones, and the family is important than opportunities that will make her happy. Fear, money, and power are the 3 things that make a man happy, and that is why I believe that it is my right to be in control.